over when it comes to national anthem introduction?
The house sound will take care of the introduction.
Will you cue us when we come back on then?
I sure will.
Thanks.
God, I wish we could hear him.
Hey, you can welcome everybody when you...
Mastodons Sports Network.
About Northeastern Illinois. Jim, give us what little we do know about this team.
Well, all we know right now is that Northeastern Illinois has not won a match all season. This tournament came on rather suddenly when Northeastern Illinois was dropped out of the Lewis Invitational. I know very little about the program other than the fact they are right this time Division II, and they're struggling.
Well, you mentioned that they were dropped from the Lewis tournament. Was that anything that they did, or what was the situation that they got dropped from that tournament?
Lewis generally invites even-numbered teams, and one of the teams that they had invited in one of the brackets dropped out, and so to keep the brackets even, Lewis just dropped the last entry in the tournament, which happened to be Northeastern Illinois. So it wasn't anything they did, and it wasn't their record. It's just luck of the draw, so to speak.
So then I assume that Deb Duncan, their coach, got in touch with Lisa and said, let's see what we can set up between IPFW, and I think IPFW then contacted St. Joe and brought in the third team here for this tournament, right?
Right, okay. Right.
Well, the Lady Dons come in with a 16-10 record, and why don't you give us a little background on what we can expect from them tonight?
The IPFW Lady Dons have been kind of an up-and-down team this year. It's sort of a roller coaster. They hit a bottom this last Tuesday at IUPUI. It'll be interesting to see how they can come back from it. They usually rebound quite well, though.
Well, I think you hit it on the head when you talk about inconsistency, I think may be the word, and certainly we hope to see something. As we mentioned, they're 16-10, and they need to win the next four matches for any hope of an NCAA bid and take at least a 20-10 record into the NCAA bids. We're going to switch over to the public address announcement for the introduction of the starting lineups.
First, for the visiting team from Northeastern Illinois University, the non-starters. A 5'2" freshman from Chicago, Illinois, number 4, Karen Ergo. And a 5-foot freshman from Chicago, Illinois, number 7, Gina DeGrazia. And now the starters for Northeastern Illinois, a 5'4" junior from Cicero, Illinois, number 2, Cindy Perselli. A 5'2" freshman from Chicago, Illinois, number 5, Sophia Lazaridis. A 5'8" junior from Evanston, Illinois, number 6, Temple Shepard. A 5'9" junior from Chicago, Illinois, number 8, Marianne Loiakona. A 5'9" junior from Brookfield, Illinois, number 12, Tina Petrone. And the captain for Northeastern Illinois, a 5'7" junior from Countryside, Illinois, number 11, Tina Pryor. The head coach for Northeastern Illinois University is Deborah Duncan, and she is assisted by John Jaworski. And now for your IPFW Volleydons. First, the players that are not dressing, a 5'9" freshman from Fort Wayne, Indiana, Kim Coughlin. A 6-foot sophomore from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Wendy Vanderwilt. A 5'7" freshman from Ossian, Indiana, Tisha DeShong. And a 6-foot freshman from Ossian, Indiana, Kathy Dunwitty. And now for the non-starters. A 5'8" freshman from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 2, Julie Huber. A 5'10" sophomore from Monroeville, Indiana, number 3, Denise Scheiman. A 5'8" freshman, also from Monroeville, Indiana, number 6, Amy Scheiman. A 5'9" junior from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 7, Charisse Dixie. A 5'8" freshman from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 10, Star Kleberg. A 6-foot sophomore from Hemlock, Michigan, number 15, Kristen Gorsland. And a 5'7" freshman from Jonesville, Michigan, number 9, Lainey Smith. And now the starters for IPFW. A 5'7" junior from Decatur, Indiana, number 1, Chris Wilder. A 5'9" freshman from Columbia City, Indiana, number 12, Temple Swoverland. A 6-foot sophomore from Arcadia, Indiana, number 13, Jana Plummer. A 5'10" sophomore from Muncie, Indiana, number 14, Aaron Jones. One of the 2 co-captains for IPFW, a 5'8" senior from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 8, Sherry Hanna. And the other co-captain, a 5'11" senior from Ligonier, Indiana, number 5, Jamie Brown. The head coach for IPFW is Lisa Sheehan. She is assisted by Colin Leiter. And now, will everyone please rise for the playing of our national anthem.
Back on.
The officials for tonight's contest are Dan Brandt and Keith Neergarter.
Well, Jim, we mentioned that we're not quite sure what to expect of this match, but I can tell you 2 things that we can expect, and that is, number 1, we're going to have some trouble with the names on that Northeastern Illinois team, and I think they're going to have a little trouble with our height. Looking down their roster, they're not real big. They go 5'4", 5'2". They do have a couple 5'8", but they're going to be struggling, I think, with our height across the front line. So it'll be interesting to see here.
Well, that's been one of the real strengths of the IPFW women's team this year, all throughout the year, has been their blocking. Extremely effective net play. Real effective play out of the middle. In fact, the top percentage hitters on the team are going to be out of the middle. It will be interesting to see what they can do to try and stop the middle attack of IPFW, and if we can pass, the middle attack should make very short work of the Golden Eagles defense.
Well, I understand that you mentioned we played pretty poorly down at IUPUI this last week, but I understand one of the bright spots of that was a pretty good passing attack. That and the matches prior to that at the weekend down at Bellarmine.
And that's one of the things that generally comes around last during the year is the passing. It just takes a great deal of practice and time and contacts, and that was one of the bright spots, and it's one of the few things that the girls talked about as being a very positive aspect of the match down at IUPUI.
Well, Aaron Jones will be back to serve for the Lady Dons. There's a good shot of Aaron, and we're underway. Service ace for Aaron. Little indecision there on Northeastern Illinois' part.
It's a rather interesting service C pattern. I haven't seen that in years.
We're having a lot of trouble picking up the numbers on Northeastern Illinois. They're wearing white uniforms with yellow numbers, but it appeared to be number 11, Tina Pryor, their captain, with the kill.
And she's left-handed, and that's going to cause problems until the girls get used to that.
Nice kill by Jamie Brown in the middle. Side out IPFW. Jana Plummer back to serve.
It's a great way to build up your hitting percentage. Free ball attacks.
Well, you mentioned that we've been pretty strong in the middle, and that certainly showed it there. Overpass kill attempt by Jamie Brown, but was dug well by Temple Shepard, and she'll be back to serve side out for the Golden Eagles. 1-0 here early in the first game. IPFW's leading. Shepard to serve.
That's about the best example I can come up with of the problems they're going to have with our middle attack.
Temple Swoverland back to serve for the Volley Dons. Temple, a freshman out of Columbia City, Indiana. Well executed by IPFW, but it appears that they're thrown off a little bit by an organized style of Northeastern at this point in time.
It's going to be difficult for them to really get any continuity going tonight because of the unorthodox style of play of the Golden Eagles.
Well, so far early in this match, and that's another kill by Jamie Brown. She's having a very good night here just in the first game, but it appears early that Northeastern's even struggling, even getting an attack at the net. Temple Swoverland to serve. IPFW leads 3-0. Overpass kill by Sherry Hanna.
She was very generous on that one. And she could have just gone up and crushed the ball, but instead she's going to tip it over for a kill.
Service air. Side out to the Golden Eagles. Captain Tina Pryor back to serve.
Can't think of any one area of the game that drives a coach crazy faster than service errors. Another middle attack by Jamie Brown. It's a back slide on that, but nonetheless, they aren't keeping up with our middle attacks at all.
Substitution for the Volley Dons. Chris Gorsline will come in and play the front row for Aaron Jones. Jamie Brown back to serve. Tell me about that substitution on IPFW's part now. Will Kristen play the middle, and where does Jana Plummer fit into this then in this front row rotation? They got both Kristen Gorsline and Jana Plummer in the front row at this point in time.
Jana will probably go to the right side, and Kristen will stay in the middle. Another middle attack. There's just nobody at home on that middle attack at all, Dan. Jamie or anybody else who happens to be in the middle ought to be making an all-career night out of this.
well, they're really going to struggle, I think, speaking of Northeastern Illinois now. They just don't have anybody that can match up well with when you have Chris Gorsline at 6 foot, Jamie Brown at 5'11", and Jana Plummer at 6 foot. There's just no way that Northeastern can match up with those three when they're all in the game at the same time. Early in the first game here, IPFW leads 6-0. Again, we're telling you we're not sure what we're to expect from Northeastern, but at this point in time, they look like they're very disorganized, and after the effects of an O and X season, we're sure that's real tough. We understand that Northeastern Illinois is applying for Division I status in all of their sports, and that there was some misunderstanding between the coach last year and Debbie Duncan, the coach this year, and she was hired at the last moment and basically had no players. She had to recruit from other women's sports teams, and so you've got to give these kids credit that they haven't quit at this point in the season. And
they're doing an admirable job of playing defense. Their floor defense is very good. They're very ineffective at the net, but then when you put in somebody up there, net is 5'2" against a 6 foot attacker, you can't hope for much more. And then again, Dan, when you get a 5'2" block up against a 6 foot attacker, you better play some good floor defense. Sherry Hanna drilled that ball inside the block.
Point for IPFW. Chris Wilder continues to serve.
Another free ball attack coming.
Virtually, that's been all IPFW's has, free ball attack. Again, Northeastern's not getting very many sets at the net for kill attempts.
That was a backside cross by Jana Plummer, and again, there was nobody home. They have no clue where that ball's going.
Timing there between Chris Gorsline and Chris Wilder.
Yeah, it's probably a pretty shaky choice. I guess if I were in that position, I'd rather have the ball thrown outside. It's pretty hard to hit that middle attack when you're 6 feet off the net. But if you're going to try it, it's time to try this when you're up 8-zip.
Well, I think looking at Northeastern Illinois again here early in this first match, it doesn't appear that that they don't have a setter, that they don't have hitters. It just appears that their passing is so poor that they can't get the ball to the setter to get an effort there. IPFW certainly isn't helping their cause very much. That's the third service ace here in the last 6 serves. Side out to the Golden Eagle.
That was a great serve there.
Number 5 there. Sophia
Lazaritis. That ball found its way between both blockers on that one.
Side out to IPFW. Aaron Jones back in. Aaron to serve. There's a good shot of her. Service ace for Aaron. Again, miscommunication on the Golden Eagles' part.
Aaron Jones comes from a very solid volleyball background down at Daleville in the Munciana program.
I think she's really stepped in this year to fill a void, and that is that passing attack. She's really played the back row real well this year for Coach Sheen.
She is technically one of the nicest players on the team. She's technique-wise is always solid, 100%.
Passing there by the Volleyball. Point for the Golden Eagles, 92. Last 2 servers here. That's number 2. That's Corselli. Corselli and Pryor served the ball pretty well.
Yeah, there's a ball taken down the line there. Also, the ball block was set up to take away the middle of the court, and Golden Eagles just took it right down the line.
Hitting here out of the middle. Northeastern's got to run a 4 here. 9-4.
Another hitting error.
9-5.
Jenna Plummer drilled that one off the left side.
IPFW maybe getting a little too lackadaisical here after scoring the first 9 points.
Well, it's pretty much typical, I guess, of a lot of teams. When you get up somebody 8, 9 zip, you tend to lose a little bit of concentration. What they have to do is screw their concentration back in and take things under control. You can't allow yourself to play at the level of the other team.
Well, that was the first block, I think, by IPFW, but Northeastern has not had many kill attempts. Nice kill by number 6.
That was Temple shot was more of a down ball than it was an actual attack. So the girls are getting caught between whether they should play a regular defense or a down ball defense, and it's difficult when teams are this unorganized. That, however, is just lazy volleyball.
Well, it appeared there that the Golden Eagles wanted it more than we did. 9-6. Shepard continues to serve here for the Golden Eagle. There's a good shot of Temple.
I think Coach Sheehan's had just about enough. Timeout, IPFW.
You've certainly got to give this Northeastern team some credit. We didn't know what to expect. They did not come out very strong the first 9 points, but they climbed right back in this game at 97. And we fully didn't expect that with the record that they brought in, and particularly the way they played early in this match.
Well, they certainly have warmed up to the task.
Well, they don't quit. You talked about that. They a couple times at the net they wanted the ball more than we have, and they've certainly worked very hard playing defense in the back row, and they're doing a very nice job.
Temple Shepard to serve. Great coverage by Aaron Jones.
Of which we have seen little in the past few years from this team. That was a very nice back coverage. Kill by Temple Swoverland, side out to IPFW. Temple back to serve. It's nice to see this freshman come in and do the job that she's done for Coach Sheen's team.
Temple has improved tremendously through the year. Her biggest problem earlier in the year was just learning the system. And now that she's learned the system, she is making a strong contribution as Coach Sheehan expected in our conversations earlier in the year.
Point IPFW, they move out to a 10-7 lead. Service error. Side out. Tina Pryor back to serve for the Golden Eagles. The team's co-captain.
That's a great way to end the rally.
Well, I think we had 3 or 4 kills. Jamie Brown had 3 or 4 kills early in the match, then had a miss hit, and we didn't go back to her for a while. That's the first time we've gone back to her. And again, Jim, I'm not a volleyball expert here, but it appears to me that sometimes we make wrong choices in the set there. If you have something that's successful, you got to keep going to it. Service ace for Jamie Brown.
Well, I've always thought that if you've got a canyon, you might as well shoot it. And Jamie is doing a very good job out of the middle. In fact, our whole middle attack is where we ought to be.
Chris Gorsline looks like she's about a half a step slow tonight.
She's about a half step slow, and that was a hard ball to hit. It was just a little bit behind her head and really didn't have enough time to make an approach. So he ended up trying to muscle the ball over, and sometimes it'll work, and that time she just missed it.
DeGrazzi into the lineup at that Side out, and she's in to serve. Nice kill by Sherry Hanna across court, deep. 11-7 here in the first game of this match. Best of 5 series. Chris Wilder serving.
I'll tell you, Dan, I am impressed with the Golden Eagles' perimeter defense. They do it. They get where they're supposed to be, and they stay there. And they'll dig those balls if you hit them at them.
And what's even more amazing about that, Jim, is they don't have much of a block attempt at the net, so it's basically playing defense off a straight kill.
Absolutely.
Side out to the Golden Eagles, number 12. Tina Petrone back to serve. They trail 12-7 here in the first game.
That'll work.
Well, I think you called it early. The middle appears to be open all night long.
Kristen Gorsline with a nice kill out of the middle. Sherry Hanna to serve. Sherry's done a good job this year of taking on a spot in the lineup she's just not used to. Service ace.
Well, she's been an integral part of this team for the last couple of years. I can remember going up to Fair State for the NCAA tournament 2 years ago, and as a sophomore, Sherry just played a heck of a match. Second service ace. 14-7. Game point. Sherry, the one of 2 seniors, she and Jamie Brown. Service air. Side out to Northeastern.
It's the 4th service error in this game, and that's unexcusable.
And I believe that may be Northeastern's first service error, or maybe second at the most. They haven't had very many service errors. Erin Jones back into the lineup for Chris Gorsline. She will be serving for game point here in the first game.
There are basically 2 types of service errors, one of aggression and one of just lack of concentration. Coaches can live with an aggressive service error. If you're trying to serve a difficult spot or a specific spot on the floor and you miss it, that's one thing, but just getting the ball in play and not getting the ball across the net, that's something else.
Point, the Volleyball, and they win the first game 15-7.
Nice cross-court attack by Temple Swerveland to finish that game off, 15-7.
Jim, this tournament, as we mentioned before, has 3 teams. These 2 teams here in St. Joseph's College from Rensselaer, who plays in our conference. We've played once before, I believe, right? Beat them 3-0 at their place. They play tomorrow at 11 o'clock, I think, with Northeastern here, and then they play us at 1 or 1:30?
1:30.
1:30. So you fans who couldn't make it out tonight still have an opportunity to come out and see some volleyball tomorrow. And this is basically a tune-up for IPFW and the GLVC. They ended up with an 8-1 GLVC record, seeded second going into the tournament, which will be held at Ashland the weekend of November 17th and 18th. This will finish out their regular season here. They have a exhibition match with Ball State University, who's coming down on the 14th of November at 7. Got that written down here somewhere, 7:30 here in our gym. So you've got an opportunity to come in and see the Ball State Cardinals versus the IPFW Volleyball, and that's typically been a very good series for these 2 teams. It's not a regular season match. It is an exhibition, but the level of competition will be the same whether it's an exhibition or a regular match.
I think one of the beauties of the Ball State IPFW match is it's almost like a hometown rivalry. These girls have known each other and played junior ball together for so long that it's become a bit of a grudge match. And normally we would try and get Ball State on our regular schedule, but due to some restrictions put upon Ball State and the rest of the MAC schools about scheduling Division I schools, consequently we can't play them anymore.
Well, you mentioned it. I think Ball State's got 3 players from Fort Wayne, and as you mentioned it, these kids play in that junior volleyball program, and they play each other and they play with each other and all those kinds of things. So they obviously know each other well, so it'll be a good match. Plus, Randy Litchfield, who played
high school volleyball for Arnie Ball at Harding High School, and very close ties to our program here as the head coach at Ball State. So, again, if you get a chance to come out on the 14th at 7:30 to see that exhibition match between Ball State and IPFW, do that. IPFW will play Ashland in the first match of the GLVC tournament. That's not right. You're shaking your head no.
I think we play
St. Joe.
St. Joe first.
That's correct.
Ashland plays Lewis.
We will play St. Joe College first in the first round match of the GLVC tournament, and Lewis, the number 1 seed, will play the number 4 seed Ashland College in the second match that night, with the losers meeting for the consolation. And
the another thing about the Ashland thing is Ashland has not been very kind to number 1 seeds traditionally in their tournament. Interesting to see what happens to Lewis over there the first time through.
Well, we mentioned it. If IPFW has any hopes of an NCAA tournament bid, they certainly have to win these last 4 remaining matches, the one tonight, the one tomorrow, and the 2 in the GLVC tournament, to at least go into the bid process at 20-10.
Absolutely. Got to get them all.
Ball hit into the antenna, side out to IPFW.
Again, there's an example of that perimeter defense, Dan. That the people at the net blocking had no idea where that ball was coming from, but the perimeter people, the backcourt, were where they're supposed to be, and consequently were able to dig the ball. It wasn't good, but they were there to dig it.
Point for IPFW. Jana Plummer back to serve.
Nice kill by Sharice Dixie, who's in this second game for IPFW.
Yeah, I actually thought we might see some more substitution by Coach Ian, but I think the 7-point run there scared her a little bit, and she's left pretty much her starting lineup in with the addition of Sharice in the lineup, who's played a considerable amount. But if this game goes similar to the first game, I think we'll see some of the younger kids play in that third game.
I'm sure we will. There's a great save. These girls don't quit.
That's number 5, Sophia Lazaritis, who made 2 good diving saves to keep the ball alive. They were able to get the first one back over the net. This one they couldn't, so it's a point for IPFW. Jana Plummer serving. Kill attempt is long by Temple Shepard.
That's a good example of a girl who's 5'8" trying to hit a ball over a 6-footer, and it just makes it very difficult to try and get that ball down.
Well, it also didn't appear that the set was very high. It didn't give her much of a chance to reach.
That was certainly a worst-case scenario. Jana Plummer, another one of the talented sophomores on the IPFW team, coming out of the junior program of Tom Pingle in Circle City, playing out of Indianapolis.
Called a lift on the set there for Chris Wilder. Jim, explain what a lift is.
Well, it depends upon the official you're talking to. Basically, a lift is any time the ball rests for a split second in the setter's or the player's hand. And they lift the ball rather than set the ball out of their hands.
We're really struggling reading the numbers here. It looks like number 4 serving, Karen Hugo, with the service ace.
There you go. That's one Chris will remember. It's not very often a setter in a 5-1 system gets a kill, especially on an attack.
Well, we had 2 Northeastern players going for the ball at the same time, and they cracked heads. And it appears that, it appears that it cracked the head and an elbow, and the one that cracked the head took more of a bang than the one with the elbow. Jim, I want to go back to something you mentioned there a couple minutes ago about Jana Plummer being a talented sophomore. You hate to look ahead too much, but this team really has a lot of potential. They lose, obviously, 2 powerful seniors, but there's certainly a lot of young kids sitting over there, standing over there now, waiting to get into this lineup that I think has to make Coach Sheehan really look forward to the next couple of years.
it just keeps getting better, and the better the program becomes, the better the quality athlete we're able to recruit. Yeah, Lisa is really looking forward, obviously, to finishing this year and hoping to get an NCAA bid, but she has really stockpiled herself with talent for the next couple of years.
Well, that was Sharice Dixie serving that last one with the service error. So it was side out to Northeastern, and it was Temple Shepard with the service error from the other side.
Oh, they called that good, Dan. They gave her an ace on that one.
Nice kill in the middle on the overpass by Jamie Brown, side out to IPFW. Well, I was a little disappointed in the crowd when we first opened up the show here, but it's really picked up a little bit, and we don't have a bad crowd here for this late tournament.
Well, for a match that was not originally to be on the schedule altogether, this has turned out to be a real good crowd.
Lack of concentration there, it appears, on IPFW's part. Hitting air on the overpass. Side out to Northeastern. Number 11 back to serve. Tina Pryor.
Don't think they're going to dig that ball without a block.
Nice set on the outside by Chris Wilder, and Shira Hanna gets the kill. 5-2. Chris Wilder back to serve for the Volleyball.
Service ace for Chris.
Jim, what constitutes a service ace? Any ball that's not returned over the net?
Yeah, any ball that's not returned or is so poorly handled that an offensive play cannot be run on it.
Chris Gorsline with the kill in the middle, 7-2.
Tina Petrone had to feel like the Lone Ranger on that shot. She was up there all alone with 2 6-footers on either side of her. Another service ace for Chris Wilder.
Kenner Ergo couldn't handle that one. Nice back row kill by Sharice Dixie. 9-2.
Chris Wilder is not only one of the more consistent servers on the team, she's also one of the most effective servers with 41 service aces through the season. Jump serve out of Chris.
Not sure how effective that jump serve was, but it did get a point.
Well, they haven't seen it yet tonight, so I guess it makes it that much more effective that way. A block kill for Sherry Hanna.
10-2. IPFW leading here in the second game. They won the first game 15-7. Nice diving attempt by Sharice Dixie to keep the ball alive, but a little slow reaction and made her dive for that ball. But again, I think you said they were kind of caught off guard by Northeastern's unorthodox style of play.
Northeastern style of play is similar to trying to hit a knuckle bar. It's just you never know what to expect or when to get it, and it makes it very difficult to play any kind of defense against them.
Kill by Sherry Hanna, side out. Coming in for Sherry is Julie Huber. Jim, watch Jana Plummer a little bit. It appeared to me she's having a little trouble jumping tonight. Has she got some problems with her knees? She's obviously got a couple braces on there, but I thought she's worn those all the time.
Jana's big problem the last couple of weeks, Dan, has not been her knees, it's been her abdominals. She's had a problem with some tight abdominal muscles and has pulled a couple of them occasionally.
Well, I noticed a couple sets ago that she just really struggled getting up in the air.
Great save.
Nice efforts by Northeast. Side out on the kill attempt there by IPFW. They lead 10-3 here in the second game. They won the first game 15-7, lead this best of 5 match 1-0. Jim, this Owen a million team, as her coach says, is really not that bad. I mean, obviously they lack some of the skills I think that you expect to see at a team at this level, but they've got some hustlers. They're making some good plays. It appears to me if they play together a little bit longer than I think they have played together, that they could at least be a respectable Division II ball club.
They're competitive athletes, and anytime you get thoroughbred athletes out there on the floor, they're not going to roll over and play dead, no matter what team it is or what level you're playing at.
Well, and most of the athletes are from the Chicago area, and that's a pretty strong hotbed for women's volleyball, isn't it?
Yeah, they are not completely unaware of how this game's played.
Service air, side out. Aaron Jones comes in for Chris Gorsline, and she'll be back to serve, leading 10-3 here. And she promptly serves an air. Side out. Northeastern serves. Jamie Brown with a kill in the middle.
End of discussion.
The two unrelated Shyman girls into the lineup. Denise coming in for Jana Plomer, and Amy coming in for Chris Wilder. Amy is the setter of the future for the Volleyball, so it's a good chance for us to see what she's capable of doing here. Pass hits the antenna, side out to the Volleyball. Denise Shyman back to serve. There's a good shot of Denise.
Another middle attack kill for Jamie Brown. Looked like Sharice was just a little bit hesitant as to what she wanted to do with that ball.
Side out, Northeastern. Substitution for IPFW, Star Kleberg coming in for Sharice Dixie. Star from Carroll High School back to serve. Julie Huber with the overpass kill.
She sort of put an exclamation mark on that one.
13-3 here in the second game.
Nice serve by Star.
I go back to my question, Jim. Is that a service ace?
If I'm the statistician, it is.
Individual choice, right?
For the most part, it's a ball that cannot be returned, and it's not going to obviously bring an offensive play, so I would give her a service ace on that one.
Game point here, and they get it. IPFW wins the second game, 15-3.
I think that's the first example we've seen tonight of Golden Eagles kind of just folding on the last 4 or 5 points. Didn't really look too intense on those. it's nice to see the young kids for IPFW playing.
That's a really good opportunity. We talked about the needing to win the next 4 games, but if nothing else, this is a real confidence builder match for IPFW, and I'm sure they came back hurting after that loss to IUPUI. They really needed a win and wanted a win down there, and I'm sure to come back with a loss didn't help. But tonight I think some confidence is going to be built back up. Good chance to play a lot of kids and give them this boost in the arm they need for the end run here for the finals.
Sometimes it's difficult for us to get a lot of information on the other teams throughout the state. We know a little bit about Tri-State from what we read in the paper, and they're having a great season. IUPUI is ranked above them in the NAIA tournament. So it'll be...
Well, and I talked to the St. Francis coach about, well, that was 3 weeks ago. I think we played St. Francis here in our gym, and at that time he felt that the best team NAIA in the state was Taylor. So you know that there's some very good volleyball being played. So it's not an embarrassment to lose to them. Obviously, that's a big rivalry going back to the days before we were NCAA members. But again, as you said, it's no embarrassment to lose to a team of that caliber. I remember 3 years ago them coming into our tournament here, and I was truly impressed with the caliber of volleyball they were playing at that point in time.
Tim Brown from down at IUPUI does an awful lot of work recruiting the junior programs in the Indianapolis area, and he brings in some talented athletes down there. They're not a fluke or a second-class team by any stretch of the imagination. Although the girls weren't happy with the way they played, as you said, it's no embarrassment to lose to them because they are exceptionally well-skilled athletes.
Getting ready to start game 3 here. IPFW leads 2-0 in the best-of-5 match. Aaron Jones will be back to serve. There are a few lineup changes. Julie Huber stays in as a substitute. Amy Scheumann stays in as a substitute. Sharice Dixie stays in as a substitute. So we've got 3 of our original starters with 3 second-line players who have done a very nice job tonight.
Strong serve by Aaron Jones. Sharice Dixie is just basically quick on quick. There's so many times she gets the balls that most players don't even think about getting to.
The Amy and Jamie show.
And make it look easy.
Side out to IPFW. Jana Plummer back to serve.
I'll be interested to see what Jamie's hitting percentage is for this game. I can't remember her missing but 1 shot all night.
No, and you and I talked earlier about that. She's hitting 31% for the year, which out of the middle with as many attempts as she's had is an amazing stat.
Those are all American statistics. She's just done a great job for us since coming over from Ohio State.
Overpass kill by Sharice. Side out IPFW. Stark Kleberg back in for Sharice.
I think the real value of Jamie and Brown and Sherry Hannah is the intangibles, the leadership they've given this team in the direction. Could very easily fold early in the season, but they stuck with it, and they've really done a nice job bringing this team around and playing together. Coach Sheehan said it's been the easiest team for her that she's ever worked with. The girls just seem to like each other and get along very well, and it shows on the court.
Well, and Jim, you've been around volleyball enough, and I've certainly watched enough. I'm not an intimate volleyball observer, but I have seen enough to know that emotion and leadership are so important in this game. It's you see the tide swing so often within a match and within a tournament. So I think, again, when you're recruiting athletes, not only are you looking for the skilled players and the big hitters and the nice setters, you're also looking for those kids who can take charge out on the court.
You're recruiting personalities as much as you are skills.
Service ace by number 11, Pryor. 1-1 here.
Left-handed serves are always a passer's nemesis.
Kill attempt by Julie Huber, just a little bit long. In fact, from here, from our vantage point, it looked good. But it gives the Golden Eagles another point. They lead 2-1. This may be the first time in this match that the Golden Eagles have led.
You're absolutely right about that.
Jamie Brown back to serve. Chris Gorsline in the lineup to play the front row for Aaron Jones. Temple Shepard should have let that one go, and number 8, Lo Iacana, wish she had. 2-2. Jamie Brown still serving. Overpass kill by Chris Gorsline.
Jamie Brown is doing an excellent job of getting that ball afloat tonight. That ball is really moving. Oh, hit me, hurt me. Great save. It was a great rally, Dan.
Northeastern wins it.
I think the IPFW defense was kind of lulled in sleep just watching what was going on.
Side out for Northeastern. Ladies and gentlemen, we really apologize for not calling the names of the Northeastern players more often, but it is extremely difficult to read their numbers. That appears to be number 7. DeGrazia.
DeGrazia.
Actually, on your screen, the number appears much easier to read than it does from our vantage point. Good call by the linesman. That pass was outside the antenna. Point for Northeastern, 3-3. DeGrazia continues to serve. I'm not sure how Gorsline got that. That ball almost appeared to be below the net when she got the hit.
Below the net and just a little bit behind her ear, and that's not an easy shot to hit. Amy Scheinman to serve. There's an ace. That ball just died. Amy's done a very good job being patient and learning the system here also. She's got a great set of hands.
Oh, and Jim, it's so tough coming in as a high school athlete who played every match to come in and sit. And she has. You're right. Her attitude's just been really good.
She's got all the tools. And she also possesses that intangible. She just wants to work real hard. She's got a great work ethic.
It's like open season in the middle. Tonight's the night to be a middle hitter, Jim. Kill by Chris Gorsline. Sherry Hanna back to serve. Sharice Dixie coming in for Kleberg.
Makes it real easy on the setters also as far as play set choice.
Kill by Dixie.
I think there's a good example in that last rally, Dan, of the problems that IPFW is experiencing with the play of Northeastern Illinois, that you expect the ball to come over on the third hit, and it comes back on the second, sometimes the first. It just really throws your timing off.
Nice kill by Temple Shepard.
Not making any excuses for it, but it's just a mental thing. They have to be ready every minute. It's hard to do. It's a great try by Amy Scheinman.
And I'm not sure that Jamie Brown shouldn't have let that one go. It appeared that the serve was going to be wide, but she attempted to hit it, and it put Amy in a situation where she had to make it a save attempt. Service air long, side out to IPFW. Aaron Jones back in for Chris Gorsline, and she'll be serving.
Looking at that front row of IPFW right now, it's got to be a hitter's nightmare trying to hit against that block. Got Sharice Dixie, who's 5'8", but plays 6 foot tall, and Jamie Brown, 5'11", and Jan Plummer is 6 foot. That's what she claims anyway. I think she's taller than that.
Nice kill by Sharice. 6-5 here in the third game. IPFW winning the first one. First one 15-7 and the second one 15-3. They lead 2-0. Jana Plummer back to serve. Temple Shepard's awakened here late in this match.
She's a nice player.
I think if they were getting her the ball more often, she could have some nice stats. Tina Patron with the block attempt at the net.
Sharice Dixie back to serve with top spin serve that she has become easily recognized by.
Seven to 5, IPFW leads. Sharice Dixie serving.
Two aces in a row for Sharice Dixie. Stretches the lead to 8-5.
Actually, the stats may show a lot of service aces tonight. Not a good choice on Sherry Hanna's part.
There's a little indecision. I'm sure Sherry thought that Jamie was going to go up and crush somebody with that. But Jamie backed off and Sherry wasn't quite ready for it.
Number 11, Tina Pryor back to serve. Kill by number 8, Marianne Loayakana. Pryor continues to serve. Eight to 7, IPFW lead.
It's a left-handed serve again. It requires a great deal of concentration. The ball spins different. Off the left-handed serve.
Linesman called that on the line. 8 to 8.
Might have been an early Christmas on that one. Poetic justice?
Well, I don't know, Jim. They've got a better vantage point than you and I do, but you're right. It's times that I think that there's no way a call can go one way, and it does. Chris Gorsline back in to play the front row. Jamie Brown back to serve for IPFW. Nice kill by number 12, Tina Patron.
Gina DeGrazia back into the game for Northeastern Illinois.
Another line call. And Northeastern Golden Eagles move out in front here. Timeout by the Lady Volleyball. Just appears that the Dons have become a little lackadaisical, Jim.
Yeah, it looks like they put the game on autopilot, and that's fine if you're playing somebody who doesn't know anything about the game. Northeastern Illinois knows a little bit about the game, and that's going to make life miserable if you go on autopilot now. Now's the time where you need to be fine-tuning your skills and your concentration and your game plan for tomorrow's match in the GOVC, which is coming up next week, and we can't afford to go on autopilot now.
Is there an advantage or a disadvantage to playing St. Joe tomorrow, knowing you got to play them 2 weeks later in the conference tournament?
That would be kind of tough because I'm not sure that I would want to play them again prior to that, what would be the third meeting. There's always that possibility the third time around is never a very profitable one. But we've always been able to deal rather effectively with the St. Joe's volleyball program. So when you're in need of a third team for a tournament, St. Joe is available, and at this point in the season, we can't be choosers. It will be an interesting match tomorrow afternoon.
Neither coach wanting to give away too much strategy before the tournament.
And neither coach wanting to lose in spite of it. There's some quick hands by Kristen Gorsline.
Ball was tipped in. Side out to the Golden Eagles. They still lead here, 10-8. Tina Patron serves long. Side out to IPFW. Julie Huber back to serve.
I like Julie Huber's attitude when she's on the court. She steps on the court, it's war.
Temple Shepard with the kill that's long. Sherry Hanna
Must be able to touch the ball prior to its breaking the plane of the net, and Sharice got away with one there.
Kill attempt in the middle. Good by Chris Gorsline, and IPFW moves back out in front 11-10. Northeastern now takes a timeout.
But that's a tough judgment call on any official's part, trying to decide when that ball actually breaks the plane of the net. You have to more or less guess rather than see sometimes with the speed the ball is coming across or whether or not it actually did break the plane.
Well, I think tonight's match is particularly difficult to officiate because of the level of play fluctuating so much. You want to be fair and you want to call a consistent match, but when the play varies from side to side and team to team and the consistency just isn't there, it's got to be a real tough job to be calling this match.
And it's difficult to justify that to your players also. I've been in situations like that. You can't really explain it to them. They just have to go out and play. As Janet Plummer has played.
12-10, IPFW is 3 points away from winning this game and this match. Sherry Hanna continues to serve the third game of the best-of-5 series.
There's a nice back row attack
By Tina Pryor. So disheartening when you make a good play like that and a nice attempt at keeping the ball alive and you lose the point. 13-10, IPFW. There you see a good shot of senior Sherry Hanna. Boy, Jim, I look at Sherry Hanna and I just go right down this list of players and the number of great players we've been able to get out of Allen County and the quality of volleyball. Thinking about Carroll and a number of players we have from Carroll on our team, and the fact that tomorrow I believe Carroll plays in the semi-state down in Muncie. Just a real strong program for women's volleyball here at the high school level in Fort Wayne.
Makes it easy on recruiting budgets. I think it's also indicative of the quality of coaching that is found in the surrounding area, just top to bottom.
Denise Scheinman back in for Chris Gorsline.
Denise is just a great athlete. She's really been a true find and an asset to the Volleyball. Service ace.
Comes in with the service ace. IPFW moves out to a 14-11 lead. Denise will be serving for game and match point.
That's the way to come in and impress the coach. That's what you want to do when you're coming off the bench. You do something the coach will remember in a positive manner. That's all she wrote. Nice job by Charisse.
As I say, it's sky ball time there. She went way above the net and brought that ball back into play. And that wraps up this match here. IPFW winning in 3, 15-7, 15-3, and 15-11. Jim, what can we take away from this match? Obviously, not a real good Northeastern Illinois ball club, but they played with some intensity at times. They didn't quit. They could have come out here without having won a match all year. They could have come out and just said, go through the motions, maybe almost not show up, but they didn't do that. So what does that do what did this do for us tonight?
Well, a couple things that I saw tonight, Dan, is one, a lot of players got some quality playing time. Playing time in practice is one thing. Playing time on the floor is certainly another. Practice is basically fairly controlled, and this is a situation where you're not ever sure what's going to happen. I think Coach Sheehan saw a lot of good things coming out of the young players who made some adjustments. They did not roll over and play dead either. As a coach, you have to be concerned about the second thing what I'm going to talk about is the lack of continuity and concentration at times that the players, the Volleyball exhibited. And that's something I'm sure that she can address now and tell them, against a team like Northeastern Illinois, you can get away with it. Against a team like St. Joseph tomorrow night, you can't. Against a team like St. Joe in the GLVC, you can't. Against Lewis, you can't. If you get into the NCAA tournament, obviously you can't. So this is something that she can see as a negative, but turn it around and use it as a lesson for the kids so that they can take that and use it rather than just pretend like it never happened.
But is that a hard lesson to learn, Jim? Again, I think you come out here and you, I think we saw that early in the first game and maybe a little bit in the last game is that you let down a little bit, and so now you've got to come back tomorrow and expect to play a very good St. Joseph ball club, one who's qualified for the GLVC tournament. And I got to believe that you get that lackadaisical attitude. It's hard to overcome sometimes.
It is very difficult to overcome. The thing that Lisa is more than likely going to do with her players right now is to point out that, just as you said, St. Joseph has qualified. We cannot allow St. Joseph to come in here and gain any kind of physical or emotional or psychological advantage over us going into GLVC. And so take this lesson and learn from it now, because tomorrow might be too late.
Well, you've watched this women's volleyball match on cable channel 23, IPFW's Sports Access channel. This is Dan Gephardt for Jim Orr. We'll be back on the air tomorrow. I won't be here, but Jim will be back with you with one of our ex-women's volleyball players, Lisa Zaire-Moreland. And I think for you fans that were able to tune in tonight, if you can come back and join us tomorrow at 1 o'clock, 1:30?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Chance to see a very good match between the IPFW Volleyball and the St. Joe team that's trying to both prime themselves for the GLVC tournament. So thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow.